Hello ladies and gentlemen, it seems to be a bit of an art day today. If you didn't catch the last video, it was on Marvel Comics artist Greg Land stealing artwork. But today, or this other video today, we're now looking at concept art for Doug Liman's cancelled Justice League Dark film. It looks really good. And that's the thing, like, concept art always looks good anyway, right? But this looks especially good. And it is a shame that this is not what we were getting, or that we're ever going to see, or ever going to get. Because I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain J.J. Abrams now has something to do with Justice League Dark. You can kiss all of this goodbye. We're never getting anything like this, which is such a shame. But let's take a look at it, right? This article is linked down below from Bounding Into Comics. But concept art for the scrap Justice League Dark movie has now been shared online. And I would imagine, ladies and gents, this is because some NDAs have now lapsed. It'll be something along those lines, I'm sure. But the series of images gives fans an idea of where the movie wanted to go. And it is good. It is genuinely good. So it shows Jason Blood turning into Etrigan. Deadman jumping into a body, Spectre sitting in a prison cell, and the Swamp Thing's my favourite. Swamp Thing is my favourite on this, and there was an interesting kind of backstory between what they were going to be doing with Swamp Thing as well. Now the art was shared to Instagram by the man responsible, artist and Batman Noel creator, Lee Bermejo, and freelance illustrator Houston Sharp. I butchered all those names, I'm very tired. Anyway, so Edge of Tomorrow director Doug Liman was attached after Guillermo del Toro bowed out, and it was meant to be the start of a dark universe for DC before Universal decided to, take their own dark universe and shove that right up your pooper. But anyway, Bermejo said of his Etrigan, Deadman and Spectre artwork, dark universe concept art done years ago while Doug Liman was attached to direct. Now, I wonder, and this is my kind of question to you guys anyway, I'll give my answer as I go through this, but do you think this concept art is more inspired by Del Toro or Liman? I think that's an interesting thing to think of, right? Because of course, Del Toro was attached, then Liman came aboard, so have a think. I'll give you my thoughts as we go through. But his post continued, it was a pleasure to explore some of my favourite characters in a different format. I did quite a bit of work on Etrigan and his transformation, as well as some of Spectre and Deadman concepts. And here's Etrigan basically appearing to transform on the floor of a bathroom, which, yeah, kind of makes perfect sense. Looks great though, doesn't it? Now, doesn't that look good? Really, really good. It's as if, because it's all cloudy and smoky, it's almost as if it's just disintegrating around him. I love it, and all the bubbles and almost boil-like things. It's so gross. But gross and cool. And here we go, there's another one. Look at it. It's so gross, but again, so cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, I will say, with respect to this one, I mean, the smoke that's kind of coming off of it does remind me a lot of sort of Edge of Tomorrow, where there's those, well, the aliens, I can't even remember what they're called anymore, but they had like a kind of a smoke that sort of bowed around them. So I think this might be a Liman inspiration, but it does look good, and it does make you go, what a shame. It's always, whenever you see these things, it's always, what a shame. Why haven't we got this? What a shame. Continues down here anyway. So next up is a cuffed Jim Corrigan sitting in prison and channeling the spirit of the Spectre. And again, it looks good. It's very ominous, isn't it? And it's a lot of these things tend to get reworked into other projects. And this one, in terms of cinematography, because you think like concept artists and things like that, they have cinematography in mind when they are, drawing up these images. And it almost seems like some of the cinematography, and I'm not saying it was, FYI, but the closing shots of Lex Luthor in prison cells and things like that. I mean, it's quite It's quite an iconic and very sort of trope-like image anyway, the framing of that. But it works. Like, it's something which looks like it had been reused in some form or another. Whether it was taken directly from this or, the Lex Luthor scene is taken from something else. It doesn't really matter. But it is interesting nonetheless. And again, great artwork. Again, it's that kind of smoky, Spectre-like... I guess the pun's there, isn't it? The Spectre-like... sort of smoke apparition around it. But that's very Lyman-esque, I would say. I wouldn't say that this was very Del Toro. I would genuinely say that that's quite Doug Liman. But again, I hand it on over to you. What do you guys think? Now, finally is Bermejo's render of Deadman, aka Boston Brand, leaping out of a cop in front of John Constantine at a morgue. This is probably the most underwhelming one out of the lot, I think. For me, personally. I prefer the others than this. This is fine. But you'd have to really zazz it up on screen. Because this looks very basic. And it sounds weird, isn't it? Oh, a body's coming out of a cop and it's basic. But it does look a bit like that. It's not as in-your-face as the others, and I like the in-your-face nature of the others. But I would say all of this is very Doug Liman, so I would be really curious to see if there was any concept art made for Del Toro's version, especially because clearly NDAs are now up, people are able to share stuff. So it's interesting, isn't it? Now, Bermejo, in closing, avowed his anticipation for J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark series on HBO Max. The project is long dead, but I cannot wait to see what Bad Robot has in store for this corner of the DCU. I hate that idea. Hate it. J.J. Abrams can go die in a swamp. Oh, perfect segue to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. This is by Houston Sharp. An old concept I did for Doug Liman's cancelled Justice League Dark movie. Doug had the idea of Swamp Thing being a spirit of the swamp coming into form when a group of arsonists set the plants ablaze. That's cool. And isn't that cool? And mega imposing. Christ. It's not even that either, right? So this one was done in collaboration. It says the particular design was a collaboration between myself and David Masson. Too bad the film got canned. It was a lot of fun to work on. But then this is the one I really love. Look at this. Love it. It's just so... I mean, it's terrifying, isn't it? This shot almost reminds me of the ritual, the end scene of the ritual, or the scene where the village is burning down and the Loki's sun creature thing is there. I can't remember, is it Jormungandr or Jotun? I honestly, I can't remember what it's called. But this reminds me of that sort of cinematography, the framing. It's just beautifully eerie and beautifully haunting. Love it. So good. Now, Sharp also shared a graphic artwork of Clarion, the reanimated corpse of a boy watching Constantine and prostitute through a window. Which obviously we're not going to take a look at that for various reasons. Because, yeah, that was... Anyway, it doesn't matter. But basically, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And like I said, this article is linked down below in the description box, so you can go and take a look at it yourself. Have a look at the artwork. Follow the artists on Instagram. It's always important to support artists, I think, especially in this industry where people keep stealing artwork. Bloody ridiculous. But let me know your thoughts. As always, though, guys, give this video a like and a share. I've been Mr. H. Take care.